Hello and welcome. Today we're going to unlock the Shikishima, and then we're going to take her into battle. Shikishima costs 32,000 steel. By the way, if you want to skip this part where I set up the ship and stuff, you can jump forward. There's gonna be a link in the description. But there we have her. She is essentially Yamato in so many ways. I'm gonna swap the captain to Yamamoto that I have on my Yamato captain. As my Yamato captain, well, at this point he was on the Ishizuchi. Commander skills that I would recommend are Priority Target, Expert Marksman, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush, Fire Prevention, and Basics of Survivability. One option you might choose to go with is, instead of Basics of Survivability, take Jack of all trades and I guess Expert Loader or something, but I didn't decide to go for that. Upgrades wise, we go for the reload upgrade, then the concealment upgrade, and then propulsion. If I had taken Jack of all trades and Expert Loader or something else like that, I would have gone for the fire and flooding reduction. Then obviously you go for dispersion, then damage control system modification 1, and then main armaments modification 1, because you don't want your main batteries to ever break. And I like the fighter plane. Many people like the spotting plane, but I don't think the range is necessary, and I find the fighter plane helps against CVs. Sure, you can argue, oh, my fighter plane didn't protect me from that one strike, but it makes the CV apprehensive to attack you, and on top of that, it usually prevents multiple strikes from a CV. So CV flies over you, drops. They're unlikely to drop again if you have a fighter plane up. But if you don't have one, they might do 2 or maybe even 3 drops on you in a row. And so that's something I like using the fighter plane to prevent. But anyway, the stats all seem normal, so I guess we'll go and play the game. Let's do a quick check, because it would be quite embarrassing to get into battle. I'm glad we don't have to put on the premium consumables anymore. That was just frustrating, and for very little in return. At least in tier 10, I don't think it would be worth to even play the ship without the premium consumables. Which obviously nowadays we don't. Oh, and we already got a battle. That's pretty quick. Sadly, it isn't a full match, it's a 9 versus 9. Oh my. Look into the distance. Look at the horizon. That looks amazing. Just look at it. It blends in together so well. It truly looks amazing. Man, this actually looks incredible. Anyway, it's a 9 versus 9. 3 battleships, 4 cruisers, and 2 destroyers on each team. I would say that battleship-wise, our team is better. Cruiser-wise, I think their team is better. And destroyer-wise, our team is better. Which I think overall puts the advantage on our team. So Shikishima is... essentially, you should treat her like a Yamato. Has about the same overmatch as Yamato does. No, actually it has... There are maybe a few ships that have armor plates that there is a difference in overmatch between Shikishima and Yamato. But overall, it's going to be very few ships. They both do mostly the same thing. They both have a lot of penetration. They have about the same damage output per minute, that is. Because Shikishima might only have 6 guns, but she has a faster reload as a result, you know. It works very much like a Yamato. Because, I mean, the hull is Yamato as well, right? And she has the same weaknesses, which is the cheek armor. As a result, in Shikishima and Yamato, you don't really want to go too close. You simply want to stay far away and keep engaging the enemy battleships, or cruisers, or destroyers, or carriers, because you do have actually quite a lot of range. You simply need to be able to use it. Oh boy, an over-penetration to start out with, but that did almost 2k damage, so perhaps it's not the worst thing ever. Anyway, I don't wish to engage or go too close, because Shikishima has trouble disengaging. Her citadel armor sits quite high in the water on top of the cheek armor, and as a result, you know, it tends to get difficult to turn out properly. Oh, we're on fire, but that's okay. I mean, oh, actually, you know what? The game has basically just started, and I've already taken 20,000 damage. Anyway, I'm gonna reverse away. Mostly to get out of the range of that Worcester over there. Because I'm sure if I get even slightly further away, the Worcester will stop shelling me. Yeah, look, it seems that was it. Worcester stopped shooting me, and now, you know, we can just simply sit here for a while. I am the only battleship on this side of the map, so it's quite important that I don't go down early. I mean, just let the cruisers and destroyers do their thing, and see how things work out later. I mean, let's be honest, against the Montana I should hold an advantage. Especially on these long-range engagements. Oh wow, I landed 1 shell hit, which got a penetration, and 4 ricochets. Damn. That's kind of unlucky, I suppose, that the shells didn't hit some other part of the ship, but hey, it's fine. We did like 6k damage with that 1 shell anyway. One over pen. Oh well, it's okay. Here I tried to alt-tab and accidentally moved the camera in awkward ways. Oh no, not alt-tab, I wanted to use control. I have 7 ricochets. I have more ricochets than anything else. Oh well. Anyway, let's try getting lucky. Come on, Moskva. You can catch these, please. Oh, this is looking good. Oh, 2 overpens. Oh well, I guess sometimes you can't win at everything. Anyway, a lot of people like the Shikishima gun sound, so let's have a listen. I don't know, to me it sounds different, and it does sound a little bit cool, but kinda feels like the sound is being distorted on my end. Perhaps it's my audio hardware, I'm unsure. Anyway, we're going to keep shelling this Montana. I don't know how she actually ran into that island. It's a pretty obvious island. It's like the only one in that entire area. But we're actually in a pretty decent spot. It's time to push forward. I actually hoped that our Holland would go and try to cap the sea cap, but unfortunately not. But then again, she did get torps on that Montana, so perhaps it was worth it. Because this does put us at a massive advantage in this kind of a fight with the Montana. So one thing I've noticed with Yamato and Shikishima is that I don't actually get like these massive citadel hits or salvos like that very often. But what I do get is fairly consistent damage, because most salvos deal a little bit of damage. And when I say a little bit, I mean like 5k, 6k, etc, right? And that kind of damage does add up over a game. Especially since in a Shikishima and Yamato, you're trying to be somewhat safe. I mean, I've taken nowhere near the damage the Montana has taken from me. Oh, damn, I guess I didn't lead enough on the Moskva properly. But yeah, if we push some more on that Montana, this will be very, very good. I still want to be very wary of that Worcester over there, because I definitely don't want to be spammed by HE shells from a light cruiser with a billion DPM. Okay, my salvos against that Moskva are not very good. I am being outmaneuvered by a cruiser that has the turning circle of a battleship. Oh well. Oh, there's the Montana again. Let's see if we can maybe put a stop to her reign. Although I suppose if she sails so far away, it's not that big of a deal, because she won't be too effective from that kind of range. Okay, I landed 1 shell out of my entire salvo, but it did 5k damage. So, I guess there's that. I mean, this is my first game in the Shikishima after all, therefore you can't expect me to know what I'm doing, right? Oh, who put this island here? I swear, this island wasn't here before. I blame Continental Drift, okay? Continental Drift just put this island in front of me. Last time I checked, it really wasn't there. I swear, I swear. Also feels kind of ironic that I complained about the Montana running into that island. This is the only island. Oh, no, there's actually another island over here, right? So I have more justification for running into it. Anyway, I think it might be time to start going closer now. Because we are taking the sea cap, our Holland has finally pushed up. Our Venezia is pushing up, our Hindenburg's pushed up. And the enemy seems to be retreating, so getting closer here is a good plan, I think. Unfortunately, we were unable to deal significant amounts of damage to that well, sorry, that's not true. We were able to deal significant amounts of damage to that Montana, we were unable to sink her though. Despite the damage we did. And that's kind of unfortunate because she gets to heal a lot of that damage up again. And then, you know, she tanks for a whole bunch of time again. Our Smolensk managed to burn down their GK, but then the enemy Petropavlovsk said no you and sank the Smolensk in return. Oh, a Smoland! I am not sure this is a good idea, Smoland. This seems like a very ambitious plan, and not in a good way. I might only do over-penetrations, but one over-penetration does almost 10% of the Smoland's HP. And we just landed 3 in one salvo. And we have a Venezia, a Holland, and a Hindenburg over here. And even if the Smoland lands all her torps on my ship, for example, it doesn't matter because her torps deal very little damage. I mean, she torped the Hindenburg from close range, and the Hindenburg essentially just shrugged them off. Anyway, Petropavlovsk is a ship that I have to be careful of when we get into medium and close ranges, because she can citadel me if I show too much broadside to her. However, luckily, the Petros are staying far away. Well, that Thunder is going to have a very bad time very quickly, because Thunder doesn't have amazing armor, and Shikishima and, I suppose, Yamato are incredible at dealing with her. I mean, we just did 12k damage with 2 shells? Wow. I suppose that's Shikishima for you? Oh, she's showing broadside too now. Oh boy, that Thunder is in trouble, in a lot of trouble. Oh, she's turning in. Sadly, she has a... Sadly for her, she has a 32mm bow, which means that my shells will simply overmatch that and deal 6000 damage when they go through the bow. I do have to be somewhat careful though. A Thunderer can absolutely citadel me through my cheek armor, but she isn't looking at me, so it'll be fine. 8000... and a follow-up of 6000. I do need to be careful that I don't let the Thunderer ram me. Oh wow, one of my turrets got broken. Okay. But I don't think I needed to sink this Thunderer here. Goodbye, Thunderer. Just in case the other one too. But now we hold a fairly large advantage. We have 3 battleships, they have 1. But they also have a Petropavlovsk and a Worcester and a Moskva. Not bad cruisers. But they are all far away and not in good positions. Even if they somehow manage to take an advantage in the fighting, I think their positioning simply means that they would still lose on points. I mean, after all, we still have a destroyer. And while they might have 3 radars, Holland can simply stay out of radar range, because most of these ships are spotted from way before their radar range anyway. Except the Petra, but Petra's radar lasts for like 15 seconds. And for the first 6 of it, allies of the Petra can't even shoot the same target. By the way, right now we're playing stealthy Shikishima by staying invisible and not firing our guns, so that we can actually cap the middle of the map. I'm gonna turn away, because I do need to respect these cruisers and their AP penetration. And the other point is that we don't need to actually chase them. I mean, we're winning, they have to come to us. And I mean, it's a 4 versus 4 now, and we have a destroyer, they don't, so actually surface fighting force for them is probably somewhat stronger than ours, but I think it'll be extremely difficult for them to push in. I did a 10k salvo on the Montana, sorry, then I did a 12k salvo. Yeah, not a good day for you, is it, Montana? Not a good day. Interesting that they're all firing at me. Oh, you know, actually, I remember now, when I played this, I noticed this earlier. Our Thunderer is in an expert position. You can see that on the minimap, on the very western flank of the map. Because this current situation absolutely mandates something like that, right? After all, what if he gets within 20 kilometers of the enemy, right? Could you believe that? That would be insane. She would actually risk getting her ship scratched. That would be crazy, and nobody should be able to ask her to do that. I need intelligence data. Yes, sure you do. What for? You're so far away that you're probably not going to shoot them anyway. But at this point we're so far ahead, I think it might be okay to just push. Especially since they don't have a Montana now. But yeah, that guy in chat, whose name I'm actually not going to mention on YouTube, if he's right. If the Thunderer just pushed, the enemy would have no chance of winning. Because the Thunderer just has way too much HP and can just tank them for the rest of the game. Wow, 7k on a Worcester. I really don't like fighting Worcesters as a battleship, because so often you just get very little damage every salvo you fire on her. Of course, you're hoping for that miracle 20 or 30k salvo, which definitely do happen, you know, like this one. I suppose 13k isn't quite the same, but close enough. They do happen, however, other times you just get over penetrations, or the Worcester just ends up maneuvering in a way where you just can't do anything. But this match is in the bag. It is simply a question of mopping up, and I think we're probably going to be able to sink this Moskva. Petra is a different matter. Petras tend to be much harder to sink. Oh, Moskva showing broadside. Oh, this isn't gonna go well. I'm sorry, Moskva. What? I didn't get the kill? Are you kidding me? I did 21k damage there, and I did not get the kill. Oh boy. Well, regardless, I mean, they only have one Petropavlovsk left. She's actually showing broadside, but chances are even if she gets hit, it's gonna just be an overpen. Because Petra Citadel said, I take that back. I guess we did get the Citadel, and I suppose Petra had very little HP left after that. Because we did like 20k damage with that salvo. Bam. I mean, we had to, right? Because we got the Citadel. And as you can see, this was my first game. I even got the gift from it. 3 Citadels, 2 ships sunk in a 9 vs 9. 200k damage, a Confederate in a 9 vs 9, a high caliber, and a Dreadnought. Damn, that was a great game, especially for a first one. And I managed to land 71 shell hits. 20 of those were ricochets. So I guess my ricochet percentage kinda decreased compared to what it was at the start. Wow, 2,555 basic... Wait, what? That Thunderer got 2,200 base XP? What? By staying that for... Damn, what the hell? I'm still not gonna compliment him though, because I really didn't like his positioning, but that's actually quite amazing. Also, 3.2 million potential damage? Was there like a Minotaur on the enemy team that was shelling at me? Because that's a fairly high number for a battleship, I believe. I suppose staying back kinda helped with that, because it's very hard to hit the battleship that's really far away, so when you do take shots, chances are you're gonna miss most of them. I guess we can do a quick recap of the skills. It's still the same skills. I also use these on the Yamato. and still the same upgrades that we set earlier, and I like using the fighter plane, although in this game it was kind of useless. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.